It's spelled traitor, not traitor, by Jack of all trades. Chapter 5. Attracting attention. Izuku knew that today was going to be a bad day. To start with, it was Monday. Nothing good ever happens on a Monday. Compounding this terrible day was that it was not just a Monday, but a Monday morning. And there was a line right down the avenue from his front door. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. Izuku absolutely did not have enough coffee to deal with this right now. Maybe he should call in sick. Nope, it was too late. Someone had seen him through the storefront windows. Izuku, clad in his Zuko skin, crept to the front door and cracked it open. Hello? Hi! Said a cheery young woman with mushroom-shaped brown hair and blush stickers on her cheeks. Are you here for Midoriya's counseling? Yep! All of you? The smiling woman twisted around to look at the line behind her. Izuku followed her gaze and noticed some peculiar things about the line. The first was that the vast majority of oval patients wore UA uniforms. The second thing that threw Izuku off was the sheer volume of the line that was female. Izuku could also pick out that some were holding things in their hands, though they were obscured by the press of bodies. Should we give you a minute to sit up? The girl turned back and smiled, pressing the tips of her fingers together. Yeah. Izuku slowly backed up and daintily shut the door. He very calmly walked to the door and stairs to the apartment and ascended. He found his mother knitting in front of the TV. Hello, Tenko? Izuku gingerly got her attention. He called his mother by her alias in the hopes that she might take the hint that the masquerade had to be upheld. Zuku, you were back already. Something happened? Bless you, you beautiful woman. You could say that. Would you mind helping me downstairs? Maybe bring the coffee machine and some snacks down. I could use a secretary for once. Oh, having an influx of patients, are we? I bet you just want to spend a little more time with your dear mother. Well, I certainly can't deny that. Izuku chuckled. Here, do you mind if I use flesh masks on you, just in case? Izuku asked while he picked up the coffee machine on his own. Inko stacked a pile of packaged pastries and coffee grounds in her arms. Go ahead, dear. Wouldn't want Katsuki to barge in again. She acquiesced and followed her son down the stairs. Izuku altered her features to resemble his as they descended the stairwell. The mother-son pair set up the coffee and snacks on a folding table next to a water cooler and a stack of plastic mugs. While Inko bustled about, preparing a pot of coffee and arranging the pastries, Izuku returned to the door and turned the sign to open while popping it ajar. By the time Inko turned around, the lobby was packed full of UA students, and there were more still waiting outside the shop. Oh my! Yeah, Izuku grimaced. Can you, get them organized or something? See how many need priority and which ones you can schedule for later? Of course, dear. You just head in and I'll send you folks as you finish. Thanks, Mom. Izuku smiled and kissed his mother on the cheek to a chorus of awes from the assembled girls, and took his place in the jungle-themed office. The first person to walk in was the nice girl at the front of the line that Izuku had talked to earlier. She gravitated to a Pomeranian plush and fuzzy beanbag. Another UA hero in training for the tally of plush and beanbag count. Hi! I'm Uraraka Ojako. Your mom suggested we introduce ourselves in our quirk, so I'm going to do that. When I touch things with all 5 of my fingers, is she related to Shigaraki? I negate their gravity. Guess not. So they begin floating and reacting to Newton's laws, as though in the depths of space was no celestial body affecting pull on it? Uraraka wore a blank smile. Sure. Any problems? Oh, right. Well, if I float myself or too much weight to forward too long, I get nauseous. Oof. This sounds unpleasant. Right? Luckily, my hero suit has a lot of features to help with that, but it kind of looks like a skin-tight spacesuit. What I've been seeing the most problems with is that it's a melee-reliant quirk. I've got nothing to fight ranged villains. Slingshot. That was fast! Sure. Slingshot and a bag of big metal ball bearings. Take the gravity off of the sling bullet so that it doesn't arc or lose momentum when you shoot it. For extra media adoration, call it a meteor strike to keep with the space theme. That sounds cool! But what about wind resistance? If a strong enough wind blew on the bullet, it would knock it off course.
Well, strong wind isn't something you'd have to worry about, quirk or not. But I have a theory about your quirk. From what you've told me, things you've activated your quirk on will keep their momentum forever, right?
Usually, yeah.
I have a feeling that your quirk doesn't just negate gravity. It eliminates or counteracts passive forces acting on an object. Gravity is one of those things and air resistance is another. Otherwise, things would lose their momentum at some point. I'd bet that if you had the stamina and enough space, an object you floated would slowly move diagonally upward and east, because without gravity to keep it anchored to the surface, the momentum from Earth's rotation would have it continue past the curve of the planet.
I never thought about that. That's pretty amazing.
So basically, my point before I went off on that tangent was that because of your quirk, your slingshot bullets would hit their targets going just as fast as they were when they left the weapon, and would be easy to aim because they would travel in a straight line, which would also be hard to defend against, as most people would expect a slower projectile moving in an arc.
That sounds useful. And I bet the support department kids could make an extra souped up slingshot and weird bullets with cool extra effects too.
Izuku could not help but describe Uraraka's smile as radiant to himself. I'm glad you like it. Was that all you wanted to talk about?
Well,
Uraraka grinned unabashedly and rubbered the back of her head.
Truth is, I didn't really come here for canceling.
She caught herself and started waving her hands in front of her face.
Not that I don't appreciate it. I'm really glad I did now, because you gave me a really good idea.
She put her hands in her lap and her smile grew gentle.
But really, I'm here to thank you. Most of us here this morning are.
Thank me?
Yeah! You have single-handedly solved the two biggest problems at UA. First, you got Bakugo to settle on a hero name, and somehow, in the process, got him to mellow out a bunch. Then Mineta came to you, and the next week he stopped being such a little rat.
Izuku was thrown off by this sudden insult spewed with such vigor from the much more innocent-looking Uraraka. Just doing my job and all that. Izuku laughed awkwardly.
No, you don't understand. You've literally saved the girl student body from a serial sexual harasser. He was one incident away from being expelled. You're literally our hero. Getting Mr. Splody to lighten up was just icing on the cake.
Oh, well, crap, it was getting awkward. Make a joke. Maybe don't spread that around UA where all those pro-heroes teach. Izuku began trying his hardest to replicate the dad joke voice he'd heard some comedians use. I wouldn't want to get arrested for vigilantism. Uraraka snorted into her hands.
I won't. I wouldn't want to deprive anyone else of the good work you do.
Thank you. I actually really appreciate knowing how my help affects people other than my patients.
Right? Anyway, I shouldn't keep you. You've got a legion of adoring fans waiting outside to call you their hero after all. And I've got class, so I need to get going anyway.
Have a good day, Miss Uraraka. Out of habit, Izuku opened the door to let Uraraka out, and so he caught a glimpse of the lobby. Thankfully, it had emptied significantly from before. However, the biggest change from the earlier crowd was that instead of being mostly women, only girls in UA uniforms were seated around the room, coffee and treats in hand. In addition, Izuku noted the stack of gift wrap boxes and bouquets behind the counter.
Zuko, dear.
Ingo coughed.
I talked to all the customers. Most of them just wanted to thank you for what you did for someone named Mineta. Some of them even brought gifts to show you their gratitude. I made sure to write all their names down and make marks next to the ones who brought you something. For the ones who wanted an appointment, I wrote that down too. You've got your appointment calendar here, so I checked to make sure I didn't double book anyone, and I penciled them in on that too.
Wow, you're amazing, Mom.
Oh, Zuko, I know. After all, I raised such a good son, he has a legion of lady admirers giving him gifts.
The two shared a chuckle before Ingo called in his next client. Over the course of the next hour and a half, Izuku met what seemed like every girl in Class 1A of the Heroics course. They all wanted to express their thanks in person, and immediately, given that they had to personally deal with Mineta every day in class. The two most thankful were one Yaoyorozu Momo, a stunning young woman who was the main focus of Mineta's harassment, and Asui Tsuyu, who had taken it upon herself to punish Mineta whenever she caught him being a pervert. Every single one of the girls grabbed a toy animal and settled into a beanbag chair. Izuku supposed that learning heroics was stressful, and they needed the comfort. After Izuku had seen all of the UA students, there was a lull that allowed Izuku to take the mountain of gifts he had received into the apartment and unwrap them. In addition to the flower arrangements, most of the gifts fell into one of two categories: candy and more stuffed animals. There were also a few books, movies, and games. The new stuffed animals quickly found themselves arranged in the office as Izuku worked through the rest of the day. With a rush of students over, Inko had gone back into the apartment with the coffee machine and pastries. Izuku could only imagine she was having a field day sorting through all of the gifts he had received. The day had proceeded normally from that point on. A few counseling sessions, a pair of twins that wanted to trade their ability to fuse into a grotesque abomination for a set of quirks that essentially replicated the retro Wonder Twins power effect. The routine had lulled Izuku into forgetting that he was to have an awful day. He got a reminder as he was closing the door to the shop at the end of work hours. A large hand rapped upon the door, prompting Izuku to open it. He immediately seized up as he gazed into shadowed blue eyes. Greetings, young man. I know it is late, but could you humor an old man? All right.